Well, not just now. I woke up from a nap about an hour ago, I would say. And I slept for a couple hours, and I think I'll probably start driving yet this evening. Just because I need a new need some new scenery, you know? So, still kind of tired and waking up. Okay. There was a man in the Walmart. I had to go to Walmart right now to get some wipies on my insurance cards. And I got a couple things like some more organic nuts and some vinegar, like I said, so I can soak my bras because they smell really bad. I hope that'll help. And then I got this too because I have heartburn. I had heartburn when I was like on the elliptical too. I really wish that I had more room in my stomach to eat everything. I just feel like I'm very hungry for everything. Just flavors of everything. Vegan cuisine. So, don't mind me. I'm just talking to myself. Scratching myself. There was a guy in the Walmart that had a dog. It was a collie. It was a service dog. He was in a wheelchair. I loved his dog. I'd date somebody in a wheelchair. I didn't have really any kind of like specifics about meeting somebody in that way. I was very open-minded in that, where I got to know people on a personal level, and if it just didn't match up intellectually, then I was just completely not interested. I'm trying to think of what else. I went to Walmart, I saw a little tiny urinal. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram. I said, wish list. I'm gonna need that. That's funny. Little boys peeing everywhere. Ugh. Ugh. Is that what I'm in store for? Ugh. No thank you. Peeing on everything. Little boys are weird. Little boys are weird. Big boys are weird. Men are weird. What's wrong with them? Why don't they have consideration toward others like in that way? Their sword rules them, you know? It guides them. Usually in the wrong direction. Couldn't imagine what people felt like back, 50 years ago or whatever, 70 years ago, hearing a plane overhead, wondering if it's going to be something dropped on their head. That's scary. It's got to be bad. I mean, it's got to be really scary in the sense of like trying to protect yourself and your family. Ooh. I really have nothing to relay right now. I just wanted to share that I was waking up and Oh yeah, I was gonna relay that I did end up, that homeless man went back and was wandering in the trash cans again, the dumpster trash cans, behind the restaurant, and he had no shoes on, and he had matted hair and everything, all really gross and stuff. So he was wearing a sweater and like pants that were all torn up at the bottom and everything. It was just like your typical, you know. Anyway, I went up to him with a bag of the, I had a box of cereal on hand, Life cereal. I gave him a bell pepper that I had. I didn't want it to go to waste, so I was like, oh, before it starts rotting, I'll give him that, see if he'll eat it, you know, who knows. And one of those packages of tortillas, since I had that on hand, I had so many of them, you just never know, and I don't like things to go to waste. So then I also got in my trunk real quick and pulled out some of those Cliff Bars that I had that had been there for a few months and everything. So I figured, you know, rotate it, get rid of some of this. And he ended up, immediately when I handed him the bag, he said, "Is that all you've got?" And do you got anything else? And I was like, I literally, like, I caught him digging in the trash with his back to me, had the bag, walked up to him and said, "Here you go. Are you looking for food?" And he just sort of looked at me all angrily at first. And then he said, "Is that all you got? Is this it?" And I was like, yeah, that's all I've got. And I handed it to him and walked away. And he just kind of looked at me for a second and set it down on the ground while he was still digging through the trash. I don't know. He was gone. Like, he was gone. And so I know that that's very dangerous, that I walk up to people randomly, but it wasn't dark out and there were lots of people around, and it was like in a pavilion area, so he really shouldn't have been doing all of that right there in front of tourists and whatnot. So, because that's a really touristy sort of area. And because I try to stick to main streets and stuff. And so, yeah, that was really disheartening when I drove away, and I thought, you know, like, wow, that's the response I get? Is that all you got? Like, that's like, okay, sure. I mean, you don't even know my circumstances, shit. But, you know, obviously he was worse off when he was walking around with no shoes on and shit. Like, that's never good. But, you know, it's the worst part is when they're angry. The worst part is when, you know, they do crazy stuff that just makes all of us look bad. Like, if you just maybe appropriated yourself a little better, maybe you would get further. Maybe people would want to help you. And that's why I get so much help, because I'm trying, you know. Most people are like, no, you're not, you know, your finances. It's not my fault that I need to comfort myself. It's not my fault that I fell into all these crazy nonsensical traps and, you know, at the words of love. And so there was another homeless man that was sitting outside of like an area too that I was going into, and he had like a tiny carton of milk and a loaf of bread and like hot dogs. And he was like eating it and making sandwiches or whatever right there outside of the place. And then by the time I parked and was gonna dig around, I was gonna give him like the apple juice I had on hand at that time. I already gave that away though. Gave some other stuff away. So when I was gonna grab it and take it to him, but as soon as I turned my back and like turned back around, I guess he was going through some type of psychosis and thought people were watching him, because I know that happens a lot of times. And they get freaked out if somebody comes near them because they're already fucked up on whatever drugs or medications or whatever. So I turned over and, you know, he was gone, and he left all his food sitting there on the pavement, on, you know, like on the step. And then it sat there for like 2 or 3 days when I went in and out of the facility again. And I was like, what? And anyway, I thought that was really odd. Like, he left all of that food. It was nearly a full loaf of bread and hot dogs and milk. and he just sort of like wandered off away from it. And I felt like, oh, that's really sad. Like, that's really, that's really rough to be that detached or whatever. So I wanted to start driving so that I could go, and I know this sounds really selfish, but I want to go to one of the vegan restaurants as I'm driving through a certain area, just to go to the restaurant, just for that, because it's what makes me happy. It's what keeps me going. That's it. I wish I would have been able to just leave reviews for stuff and to help people, inform people on living a healthier lifestyle, and to try and combat like mental illness in that way, and to do healthful things and self-help, development in that way. And I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm just sort of like that. I just sort of tell people, like, here's a bit of your issue, here's what I could, that's what I see, what some people see as well, because I don't just have a bias toward things a majority of the time. I try to just be very open-minded and see it from everybody's perspective at first, until I get down to the bottom of the details and I think, this is what truly transpired. The same with what had happened between me and Jason Wallace and I, I didn't anticipate having sex with him, not at all. And then I thought, well, this must be a blessing in some way, and that's why I didn't file for the rape when I was going to 5 days after the incident, and that would give him an opportunity to man up and do the right thing. And then he told me not to contact him ever again, and that he was going to get harassing communications on me because I was being vulgar with some of the messages, because I told him he was a piece of shit for not responding. That's really disheartening that people take their side, these predators and these perpetrators and these deviants and perverts. It's really, really sad, because I may have had text messages that were, like compassionate after the incident, just trying to see it from his perspective, see if he was like leading into a relationship, if that's what it was. And no, he just used me. It was just that. And that's the sad part, is that I felt so left out, because he never came back that evening. He didn't want to deal with my emotions. He didn't want to deal with the pain he had inflicted on me by having sex with me. And because I had mentioned the physical pain that I was in from our encounter, and he didn't want to deal with any of that. It was too much drama for him. So I was like, okay, fine. Like, that's fine. Like, take it to somewhere loose then. I don't care. Like, it's none of my business. So, but yeah, and that's immediately what I started telling him, like, get the fuck away from me. And it shows through the messages, and we never had any verbal communication after that either. You know what I wish I had right now? A peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And some milk. Some almond milk or something. Organic. But mostly not almond milk. I like the flavor of it. I don't really know if I like oat milk all that much. It's got a weird aftertaste. But I really like cashew milk too. That tastes really good. I wish I had some of that right now. Why do I always want to eat? Lately I just want to eat and eat and eat. Like that's all that matters. Which is true, because that is all that matters. As long as I'm maintaining. I had to go get some dookie wipes so that I can have that for the morning and everything. I feel much better now that I worked my butt, that I did squats. I feel much better. The circulation is better. Let's see if my foot looks any. Oh yeah, it's a little less swollen, but look at how I have really fat feet. But mostly just because, yeah, I am still overweight and everything, and it just gets to my fat, flat feet. Gross. Gross. Look at these long husks. It's okay. I'm not that bad looking, although that's grossing me out. It's the pants and everything making it all weird. Gross. Oh. gonna be hungry here in a minute? Oh my god. What? Well, that's why I picked this up for my stomach. I was gonna get some yogurt. Then there was too much sugar in some yogurt. So I totally forgot when I was going through that area. And then now I don't know if I should stop by one of the Krogers as I'm passing to grab some yogurt, or if there's something else that I want. Is that all you got? What? Okay. All right then. It's not my average response when I help people. They're usually like, thank you. That guy. I'm sure he could have been violent toward me, but since it was broad daylight and there was a lot of people around, I doubt he was like willing to put himself through all that. Plus, I'm a fighter, so I probably would have attacked back, which is kind of scary because I thought about that. You know, what would happen in some circumstance like that if it was like a completely random stranger? And I'm pretty sure they'd be dead. Like, honestly, I would take out my rage on them, and they probably wouldn't survive. And that's like the sad part, is because I would strangle them to fucking death. And like, I really, honestly, I hope to get into that situation where I can do that out of self-defense, so then I can claim that it is self-defense and still get my aggression out on another human being that is obviously a terrible person for attacking me or doing something violent toward me. I should have strangled fucking Jason Wallace to death. But then people would have been questioning what the fuck happened here. You know? Then I would have gotten in trouble immediately and still been carrying his fucking offspring, which is fucking weird. But I don't know. Shit happens. Everything happens for a reason. Like, that's why I know, just keep an open mind. Just let it pass. Like, this guy's an asshole. That doesn't mean that all men are assholes. Not true. Not true. I have not come across anybody that is actually willing to pursue me in that way. So for me, I'm just done. I'm over it. They're so pathetic. Like, they truly are. Like, you can't stand me because I got a mouth. You can't stand me because I'm not entirely perfect. You can't stand me because of my aesthetics. Like, I'm not a 10. So that's crazy. That's insane. And because I don't have any financial backing, I have no family, I have nothing. And everybody's like, well, you're pathetic. No. It's pathetic to want to deal with people that want to rob from you and use the words of love just to manipulate you. I'm telling you, my mother had a form of Munchausen syndrome because she would tell the doctors all this and that to get me on all types of medications. And, you know, I had a lumpectomy from this boob. That's why it's smaller. Pisses me off. Of course, my mother agreed to it instead of just saying, no, we'll leave it there for a little while. So yeah, it was benign, but now this boob is smaller, and it pisses me off to this day. Now, that's why I have the tattoo covering that scar from where they did it. So, and then the bat wings on my back, that's the scar from having dealt with the first dude that impregnated me and that abortion. So that's what was the print that I left on my back, bat wings. And because I told them that I wanted like vampire bat wings in that sense. And so yeah. And inside that little heart was a P. Parker. I just told everyone that it meant something else. But it was just a mark because he left me scarred for the rest of my existence. So yeah. And that was like free-handed or whatever because it was covering up an actual like heart, because I had done a tattoo with a girl. She promised, of course, that she was going to pay me back because she said, let's get matching tattoos. I believed her, and she was on a lot of coke, and I didn't know it, or whatever else she was on. When they do the whole sniffling thing and wiping their nose a lot, I realize now what that was, and it wasn't good. So when we got these matching tattoos, mine was done crooked, and then that's what the cover-up was, the bat wings. I don't know what I was thinking to try to get involved with people. We worked at Dillard's together, me and that lady. She was slightly older, and she acted like she wanted to take me under her wing, and that she was a good person, and that, she had a boyfriend that had it was like a condo thing on the water, and invited me over a couple times to stay there and whatnot. And it was actually really a lot of fun, or so I thought. And then I realized that I was probably in danger because, looking back at the circumstance. And I saw everything very innocently. I didn't do drugs. I still don't just do a bunch of hard drugs. Weed is different. But anyway, so it's getting dark out right now. I just wanted to convey what had happened today. And then that lady, when she said she would pay me back, she never did for the tattoo. Her family owned like a floral shop in a small town, and she'd actually even taken me on some type of road trip through that, and I got to see her parents' flower shop. And I don't know if she was trying to make efforts to get off of the drugs and stop being an addict and whatever, and so she thought hanging out with me was going to be beneficial for her, but instead she took advantage of me. So and I remember at one point too that it had accumulated something about like she had owed me somewhere close to hundreds of dollars. I don't know why the number 500 comes into my mind, whether or not it was like me helping her afford for whatever rent or something like that. And that's what I think I remember. But I've been taken advantage of so much in the city of Hot Springs. That's why I don't deal with anybody from there. My ex-husband was trash. He was born and raised there. He was born in Mena, Arkansas, but then he, I guess, was raised all in Hot Springs. And then, so like these people, they're just toxic. I don't know if it's something in the water or whatever. Like I said, all the fried food, it gets to the brain and whatnot. And then I prefer to cook my own food and eat a lot of healthy things and a lot of Mexican food. I mean, some people think that's not very healthy. Yeah, well, my tamales all had lard in them, so I would like to try to make them vegan style. But when am I ever going to have a home? When am I ever going to have this and that? Somebody said you should make an Amazon wish list. And I was like, can I put a home on there? Would that work? Like some safe place to stay, somewhere really safe, like place that on a wish list somewhere. I've been asking God for years, like, please don't touch me, please. Why are people abusing me? I'm not even that cute. It's crazy. People are wild. I hope that my arms like retract well enough to, they actually have been doing so much better. So weird how the skin retraction has been so good. Anyway, it's getting later, and all I did was stop here to crack my back, and then I'm going to start moving on. I really want tacos. I want some tacos, some good vegan tacos. That stuff was so good. I might go and get a calzone still, because I'm a fatty fatkins. I know I don't have the money for it. I know I don't have the finances, but I figure God's gonna love me anyway, because that's the only vice that I truly have aside from weed, and I can't buy me any more weed anyway unless I go to one of the recreational states, which is on the way. But I don't want to buy any more weed. I don't want this baby to get taken from me in that way where people are like, oh, there's weed in your system, that's not good. Fuck you. It's better than any of the cigarette smoking and all these alcoholic women and all this and that, and you don't do shit to them sometimes. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Why is my baby so gigantic? Somebody said something about it's going to be a tall baby. Well, yeah, he is a boy, and his father's like 6 foot, so more than likely, yeah, there's a lot of that. But I don't know, he was very tall. I want to just love him, you know? I want to love Jason Wallace. I want to love the idea of him, you know, and that it was just like a circumstance that led to something really magical in that way, like a miracle baby, like in that sense of I wouldn't have normally I would have gotten the plan B, normally this and that, but I left it to God, and I was like, okay, well, this is not okay for me, but I'm gonna put it in your hands, and that's how everything is sort of like played out in his favor, yet he's still neglecting his responsibilities as the father because he's getting all this misinformation about like who the dad might be. There's only one other person that could have been the father, and he was 2 days prior, and also too doubtful because he was super drunk. So and it was the last day of my menses, so there's no way that has ever happened to me before. And then of course timing and positioning of, you know, holding on to his, you know, his essence. So it's not even like I was trying to be, but something about the whole encounter was very different. And so that's why I've had some weird, confused, really, like, feelings toward our relationship, you know? Very mixed. Very, very mixed. There is no relationship, obviously, but I wish there would have been, because I knew something was up when all that happened, because it's not normal for me. And so I tried to explain that to him, and he didn't believe me. And I guess he already had someone else, so that's fine. Like, I don't care. But that's very sad that he would have gaslighted me like that and lied, and nobody sees it that he's a deviant. Instead, they want to try to put me in jail for, you know, or they said, you know. But there is no active warrant. There, you know, I checked all these places, I called, and nobody's like actively looking for me, which is sad. It's sad. Nobody wants me. Nobody's looking for me. Nobody loves me. One time I did get a call from the police because I had placed one of the videos or something, and they knew I was in their jurisdiction in Hot Springs, and I was staying with a woman, and I was saying very, very dark things on my Facebook, and they called to see if I was okay. They wanted me to meet them so that they could physically see that I was okay. And I was like, you're gonna pull me away from one safe space, the one night, you know, or so that I might have over at somebody's place that's a female, and you know, just so that you can hype me up. This is after the pregnancy, of course. So I don't know why they would care. Nobody cares enough to find me a suitable housing situation. Instead, I've been trying, and everybody's just rejecting me. It's ridiculous. What do I do aside from speak condescendingly toward everybody and their disgusting habits and lack of hygiene, lack of safety protocol, lack of what is that? What is the... I can already feel the blood flow to my feet getting... from sitting too long. Oh my God. It's like so painful. That's why I had to keep moving. I need to start doing something. I need to get off my ass. And I thought about like going to a store or something to walk around before traveling and everything, because I'm in pain. Oh, my feet. Too much sitting on my butt. My booty. Oh, why does my gut look like this? Oh my God, why does my gut look like this? Ah, Just gonna give birth in my car on live feed. Just, here's the baby. It's leading that way. And nobody cares. It's just like, that's just me chronicling my life. Nobody gives a shit. They're just like, ooh, what next? What next? What's she gonna get in trouble for now? What's she, no helpfulness, no encouragement. It's just all, oh, okay, can't she go to jail for her words? No, I can't. No, actually, I can't. They've already done that before, and I should get paid from the government for that. But I don't know why anybody's doing their job to try to correct that. Apparently, I'm just a hobo. A shoeless fucking hobo digging out trash cans. That's what it seems like when I'm looking for resources. Fuck. Disgusting. And I tell people, and they're like, what makes you better than? So much more. Just leave me alone. And it's not even better than. It's just wanting adequate assistance, adequate what is that? Just adequate shelter and utilities in that way, equipment. I don't know. I'm trying really hard. I can't think of the terms. It's so much fat though. He's down in here, but I still wasn't done losing all the fat in my belly. So he's in there, but there's a lot of fat in there. And now it's getting to that point where it's just like, that's just fat accumulating. That's what the hunger is doing. You're not even nourishing your baby. You're just satiating your fat. Like satiating your gluttony. He's moving though. He's like, but I like it. But I like it. Feed me, Seymour. That's funny. Oh, another thing I saw at Walmart. There was a man, an older man, and an older woman. They were a couple, and they were in the garden center because that's where the clearance stuff was. And I saw her wander over into the garden area, or the plants, into the foliage. And the man stood there with the cart for a moment and wiped his hand on his face. And he was like, and I could just feel, and I started giggling to myself. I could feel like his frustration that he had to sit there and wait for his lady to go about the plants and just wandering around seeing what she liked and whatever. And he was exhausted. So he that's what he did, like so drained, like, how long is this gonna take this woman, And I thought, man, she's really pretty though. You should feel fortunate, Fatty Fatkins. Like, it was really funny though, because he just had to keep his mouth shut to let her do what she wanted, or he was gonna hear about it. That's how it should be. Completely how it should be. Men need to realize, like, you just get yourself one partner. You don't need a bunch of them, because you can't handle a bunch of them. Obviously, like in Jason Wallace's case, how many kids are you gonna fucking have by random bitches? Like, that's crazy. That's disgusting. So, and then you don't supply for them, you don't support them. That's disgusting. That's pathetic and humiliating for you and everyone like you and everyone associated with you in any type of way. So that's why I call you a rapist, because that's not okay. And you must be a serial rapist too, because all these women with all their kids, and you just don't do a goddamn thing for them because you don't feel like you have to. It's not your responsibility. Yet all of a sudden, men are so sick sometimes. Why do I come in contact with them too? And I realized it was because of my father and his tainted curse over me and all of this and that and my last name and everything. Just nasty perverts that I stem from. So, but anyway, so stressful. I better go get a snack or something. I shouldn't eat. I mean, and I'm trying so hard. In the food, the sinfulness is winning. The gluttony is winning. It's winning. I can't stop it. I'm just so hungry. But it's not even hunger. Like, there's no hunger. There's just me being fat. I just want to eat. I can understand though. I mean, 23 weeks pregnant. That's crazy. That means by the end of this week, this following week, that it's big enough to where if it were born, it would be fine outside of the womb. That's scary. That's so scary. I don't have a place for it yet. Don't come out yet. Like, I'm not ready for you. Oh my God, I'm so scared. And then, like, when I work out and everything, people probably think I'm going to give birth right there on the floor. Like, oh my God, no. Because then if I'm working out and then I start, like, having contractions and can't stop them and give birth, oh my Jesus, I'm in for a fucking shit show. And then I don't have anybody to take me in certain areas to pick me up. So what would I do? There would be nobody, and they would know that I had nobody. So that's the horrifying thing, is that I don't have people in certain areas. I have to get back up to a certain area, over to a certain area, because it's when, some of these people have said, like, I'll help you. Like, I'll even take you out of the hospital so they don't know. And it's just like, yes, thank you, because it's not fair to me that somebody should steal my baby over the lack of financial support that I have. It's not my fault. I have every other means to take care of it and support it. And if I just had a suitable location to where, other people get paid for it, look at all these sugar babies and whatever. And sure, I tried to do a little bit of that through cuddling, but I was still working. They still got whatever they needed from me in that sense of the emotional support and, physical touch, whatever. Gross. Anyway, I better get off of here. I love you guys very much. And I'm trying very hard. Trying so hard to just be good. So hard. I just want good Mexican food that I make. I just want Mexican food. I just want spicy food. And I also want sweet stuff. And I want lots of protein. I knew when I was wanting lots of protein at first, I knew immediately it was going to be a boy. I told Jason Wallace about it. You should have seen the messages I sent him. He didn't read probably half of them. And then I just deleted them. That's why at first I just posted what was said by him, because I deleted all of my comments, because he doesn't deserve my words. He doesn't deserve my compassion. He doesn't deserve my affection in the slightest whatsoever. I need to like focus on myself, but I wish I had a safe place so I could start reading and doing things that I needed to, maybe even going back to school or something. I thought I was going to meet somebody that would take pity on me, and not take pity, but that would love me through my hardships and to help boost me up, and that, I would find somebody at some point that would even allow me to live with them in that sense while I got my shit together, like I did for so many other people. And I was like, well, I don't understand. Like, my ex-husband mooched off of me. I helped him go through school. He didn't have to pay much. He didn't even have a job when we first got together. And I encouraged him to work up the ladder, to climb the ladder of whatever, going to school and whatever. He lied to me about graduating high school. And then he told me all of a sudden, oh, I didn't know I didn't graduate. What? That doesn't make any sense. How have you been working then? And then I realized, I was like, oh my God, he's a fucking manipulative liar. So he told me, he was like, I didn't know I didn't graduate, and nobody had asked. And I was just like, no, you're from Arkansas. I should have known better. I should have known you were just lying to me just to get in my pants, and that was all it was. And because I had a home, you mooched off of me, and then you went and got, your certification for welding and whatnot, getting paid a shit ton of money, and then you left me for fucking dead, literally, with 2 loaded guns. Like, that's the type of trash you are. So that's why I disclosed this, because it's hilarious. I'm like, whoa, no way this fucking happened. This is real. Like, this would make a great fucking story. This would make a great movie, in that way. So that's why I capture everything now, and I'm just like, whatever, whatevs. I'm trying. I wish I had my babies. I wish I had a safe place for my babies. Fucked all these dudes that just want to leave women for dead, and had no integrity, and just deadbeats. So anyway, I love everybody. It's May 7th. I'm trying not to get too overwhelmed. I shouldn't eat any more sugar. I had so much today. Gotta go get some protein or something. So, I love everybody. I know I shouldn't even eat right now. That's why I have those nuts. I shouldn't eat a bunch of stuff. I've already spoiled myself enough today. But really, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I'm scared. So that's what I just go and do. I just go and I feed myself. I feed my face because I'm scared. I don't know where to go, what to do, and I find things that I enjoy. Some people think I'm normal. I'm not normal. What's wrong with you people? Like, I can't just do normal things like normal people. It takes me a lot of effort just to socialize. God. Oh, it's hurting because I'm getting riled up. So I'm trying to calm them down. And like whatever, my uterus and the contractions and weird stuff. The doctor said that it was just like my uterus, like readjusting is what it was when I had those weird contraction things. She said it was probably just that. And because I am so healthy, I guess, in that way, they didn't do any blood work or anything. And thank God she didn't go up in there. And I was like, okay, thank you. All she did was measure me and do that little heart monitor thing, the Doppler thing. And she said, oh, babies don't like this. And I'm thinking, yeah, they understand because it's electronic and it's probably not good for them. And the vibrations and whatnot. That's why people say, like, don't be going to... I wish I could have had, like, what is it called? Midwife or something like that. That it would have just been easier in that way to understand, like, okay, maintaining. But everybody wants to give me an ultrasound every fucking other day because it's like, what the fuck? You're toxifying my baby. Get your weird radiation away from me. All these crazy electronics and whatnot. I'm sure it'll be fine. And if it's not fine, then that's God's way of telling me that I'm crazy. And that's not true. That's God's way of telling me that it's another hardship I have to endure. So it's funny. I can't believe people think that I don't understand that I'm crazy. Like, that's obviously what I am. Duh. Like, I don't mind disclosing it. I really don't. I think it's something to be proud of. I know what my disorders are. I know what I suffer from. And I know I'm going to be a bitch at any random time because of these disorders. Because of all this, this crazy toxicity that I've lived through. Okay, I love you very much. This is already too long of a video. I'm just sort of like chilling. Gotta get up, use the restroom and stuff, and crack my back, and then move about my day. I love everybody very much. It's May 7th, 2022, approximately, 7 or 8 in the evening. Leticia calling Servin. Bye-bye.